Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're heading over to this bean field edge. We're starting deploying cell cams. We're into July now, so today's topic we're going to be discussing three trail camera tips that'll hopefully help you connect with one of your target bucks this season. So after we get across this field, we'll run you guys through kind of our whole setup and what we do each year to prepare. Alright guys, we made it over to this corner. We're going to discuss the three tips for trail cameras, or the three most important tips I find to be location, then time of season, and then lastly using years past intel to anticipate where the deer are going to be. So we're currently standing on a bean field edge right now. This is an inside corner here. I really like this spot. Some really thick bedding to the left of me. You can utilize this on like a west-northwest wind. Used to hunt this spot a lot back in the day. Just over the years kind of gotten away from field edge hunting and hunt more like transitions and bedding cover. But wanted to show you guys a tip for the summertime. We're into July right now. When it comes to finding velvet bucks in July, you're gonna have to put your trail cameras where they are, and they're not gonna be in the same areas that they're likely to be come fall. They're gonna be, you know, in more open, shady areas. If you're in ag country, they're going to be on the field edges. If you got a lot of CRP type stuff, grasses, they'll be in there. You know, maybe a big open pond or a timber pond. They're just going to be in those more open areas. That being said, mature bucks are very reclusive, and even this time of year, they're still hiding. They're still seeking out cover. So when it comes to trying to collect inventory, field edges are great. That's mostly what we're doing with this spot here. Damn, this got stung. That was fun. But that's what we're doing with this spot here while we're setting up on this bean field edge. Is just because we know this is a likely spot. This corner here has produced some pretty big deer over the years as far as collecting inventory on them. It's just a really good spot. So when it comes to trying to find bucks in the summer, you're gonna have to put your cameras in, you know, a different area than you will come fall. That being said, I don't run a lot of these setups here. I might put 2-3 cameras out on field edges, and that's about it. I just go to spots that I know typically are really good areas that, you know, year after year I see big bucks, or could be a spot, you know, maybe the first 6 days of season. If I got a good one in here, he sheds velvet and he's daylighting or close to daylight, I might give it a go. I'll throw a stand up over this spot, but more than likely not going to be hunting this area, just trying to collect inventory to know what bucks are still around. I do things a little bit different probably than most people when it comes to summer scouting, or, you know, just running trail cameras in general this time of year. I'm more focused on where the deer are gonna be. So what I like to do is I like to run all of my cell cameras, or even my SD card style cameras, in areas that I know here in the next 2 months they're going to shift to 2-3 months, and then that way I know exactly when they make that shift, and then year to year I can keep that data log, and it will tell me, you know, when I need to be in that area or when I'm hunting that area. It does make for a very boring summer as far as you know, getting deer on camera, just because, you know, you're not going to have that many velvet bucks in those areas that, you know, they're going to be come fall, those secluded areas, those you know, hidey hole ridges and those old rub lines and just the thick bedding cover. They're going to be less likely to be in those spots this time of year. But that being said, I have seen them slip through a lot of times late July. I might catch one of my target bucks just coming through the area, just kind of checking. From what I've gathered, I think they're just kind of scoping out the area that they know they're going to come back to during fall, maybe see what kind of does are in the area. Oftentimes I catch them on scrapes, so they come through, check that licking vine or that licking branch, and then move off, and I might not see them again till, you know, mid-October, late October. But that's a tip for you guys. Put those cameras in areas that you know are fall ranges. If you're scouting a new area, I like to do that towards like the tail end of winter when the woods are really bare, and just look for, you know, old sign, old rub sign, areas that even during the winter time might be thicker than other areas, because Obviously now, fast forward to this, you know, everything's thick this time of year, but that's going to change. You know, even the spot behind me, late October, early November, you might be able to see 200, 300, 400 yards through here. So it really comes down to scouting, just putting in the time, and then collecting inventory, and then analyzing that inventory year to year to help you anticipate where those bucks are going to be. That's what's helped me out the most. But if I am doing a field edge setup like this, I will show you guys. I do this in all my stand locations. I've come through, so got a cell cam right here overlooking this inside corner, and then I went ahead, hung up a licking vine, knocked down some of this vegetation around here, and that'll help you guys out. I like it for hunting tactics, but I also like it for collecting inventory, because if these bucks are coming through here, browsing on this soybean field, and they catch onto this scrape here, they're going to more than likely start hitting it. Once they hit it once, it kind of becomes, you know, like a habitual pattern where they hit it all the time. They want to see what's in the area, and then if your trail camera's right over that, that can help you, you know, collect really good high quality photos or videos. And then that way, if you're trying to find a specific buck, or if you just see a new face that, you know, you might want to go after, it's a good way of doing it. So this is one setup. Like I said, we don't run many of these. We're gonna head in the timber now. I've got some trail cameras I want to put up over some food plots. We're gonna head back up on this ridge area. It's a oak flat up there. We're gonna go get some cameras put up there. We've got some creek crossings, and we'll kind of show you guys what we like to do, and how we set these trail cameras up, you know, to anticipate the movement coming this fall. All right guys, we're down in one of our bottom food plots now. So when it comes to setting up trail cameras in a food source like this, where this is a transition zone, you know, you're not out on open ag, it's a little hard edge of timber, and then it butts up to the ag field on the other side of that. So when it comes to setting up trail cameras in here, one thing that's nice about if you're utilizing like a timber style food plot this time of year, yes, this is a fall spot. This is a spot you're going to want to hunt, or you're going to want to hunt a transition to this spot. But it's also a good way to collect inventory of bucks during the summer, because oftentimes what I've seen over the years is if they are going to leave those field edges and they are going to work in the woods a little bit, they're not going to go too deep, and likely they'll come through these areas. They like to check the food plots out. Yeah, I mean, the agricultural fields are going to be way higher quality forage. It's going to be something they're going to want, you know, be attracted to more so than like a clover plot like this. But that being said, look behind me, it's pretty lush in here. So, you know, if there's a day where, you know, they want to get out of that open field and they want to get in the shade a little bit, browse through this little clover plot here, more than likely, you know, it would be a high odds spot for them to come to, and got trail camera set up over it. So when it comes to, you know, being inside the timber this time of year, setting up trail cameras, I still try to look for open areas. That could be a timber pond, could be a food plot, could be a clear cut. Places like that, you know, the less thick it is, the more likely you're going to see a mature velvet buck this time of year. But like I told you guys before, I'm not overly worried about where they're at right now. I'm just setting up cameras to anticipate where I think they're going to be come fall, based on, you know, years of inventory. So that's how I like to do it. I think if you give that a try, if you're willing to, you know, sacrifice a couple of your cell cams or a couple of your SD card trail cameras, put them in a fall range area, and, you know, to basically just get raccoons and, you know, a couple does and fawns here and there, I think you'll be really impressed when you see that transition, that first day that that buck sheds out of velvet and he starts seeking out his fall range, and you get him just like that. That was the light bulb for me, was, you know, leaving them in these fall areas and wondering what the heck is going on, you know, far before I ever even understood that bucks, you know, bed in different locations depending on time of season. That's what we talk about. The, you know, the second thing is time of season, and what I mean by that is what month it is, because bucks are going to shift locations, shift bedding areas, shift food sources month to month. So once you have an understanding of what they're eating at a certain time of year and where they're bedded at a certain time of year, it kind of helps you paint a bigger picture, and it lets you know where those deer are going to be come fall. So guys, we're going to head up this trail now and show you what we're talking about. So these are some mowed trail systems, very, very interior of the farm. Not quite to the center. I try to stay out of the center for the most part. Even during the summer months, I try to just keep that area, you know, untouched. The does and fawns are bedded in there, and they're going to continue to bed in that location. Another little trick for you guys, wherever your does and fawns are this time of year, like as far as bedding goes, you know, I'm not talking about seeing a doe on a field edge, but when it comes to the bedding areas, they're likely not going to move. Does kind of, once they find a home range, they find an area they like, they're there spring, summer, fall, winter, they stick around. So another little trick for you for when you're looking for bucks in the fall, find the does in the spring and summer, and that's likely where them bucks are going to become rut. So got one of our deer stands up here overlooking this timber pond. That's the next place I put a trail camera. We'll hang one up on this oak tree here. Like to throw a couple sticks up, get it up real high, and then I'm going to set up a new mock scrape right in here overlooking this timber pond. The thing, like we said before, anytime I'm setting up a cell cam or a trail camera, I'm also making a mock scrape, because I want that to be an area not only that I can collect inventory, but I can also hunt. So when it comes to these interior spots, these are going to be areas I'm going to be hunting, obviously. So I want a mock scrape here nice and early. So I think we're going to go ahead and get that done today. Get a camera up right here, get a mock scrape in here, and then we won't come back to this spot until it's time to hunt. Alright guys, so this is going to be our last trail camera location for the day. We're going to work across this ridge top. There's a known rub line up here where I've connected with a buck before, and a couple years ago almost shot another good one, good 10-pointer, utilizing the same rub line. So this is a spot, again, a fall spot. I like getting the camera in here nice and early, overlooking that thing. And then again, another tip for you guys, even if you're gonna run cameras and you're gonna, you know, try to utilize that fall information, don't catch yourself getting so hung up on waiting for a photo to come to your phone to hunt that area. That's why I like utilizing last year's intel for this year's hunt. Because what happens is, let's say October 25th, we get a big cold snap. In past seasons, let's say October 28th, 26th, 27th, 28th, we'll say that, I get a big buck on this ridge every year, working a scrape or running a rub line, or, you know, just passing through. Well, on that 25th, that cold front is going to be something that's going to likely get them deer up on their feet a little bit earlier and moving, and might get them in the right mood, especially knowing that time of season testosterone's building. So instead of me waiting to get a trail camera photo, I'm going to go ahead and go to that spot, because I've already got past intel telling me that around that week there are deer coming through there, good bucks that I'm after. So that's what I mean by utilizing past history to figure out where you need to be that year. And you're not going to have that if you're focused on just putting all your trail cameras on soybean fields, corn fields, and you leave them there all summer, and then late September you wonder where the heck these deer went. They strip velvet, they're gone. Now you're already behind the ball. You're moving cameras around, you're looking for fall ranges, you maybe catch up with the buck or you get a picture of them. Well, it's too late. And you don't even know what day that deer came through there. So that's another thing, is then you're scratching your head wondering, you know, has that buck been here for a week? Has he been here 2 days? Is that the first day he got there? Some bucks show up in areas and they only stay there for 4 or 5 days. Well, I want to know, is that the 3rd day he's been there? You know, the 4th, or is that the 1st? Do I have a couple opportunities maybe to hunt him? And this big 8-pointer from past years, I've got a ton of intel on him. We almost shot him last year. That's what he does. He shows up for about 5 days. and then he's gone, and that's it. I mean, that's my only window. I'm not saying that he's completely like vacated the whole property. I'm not saying, you know, that I'm not just missing them, but as far as me seeing them in daylight in these areas, it's a short little window. So hopefully that helps you guys out, gets you thinking this season. You know, even though it's fun to collect intel on those soybean fields and see them big velvet bucks, I hope you guys are thinking about the fall and where these deer are going to be. So if you haven't already, take a couple of your trail cameras, go to those fall ranges where you know deer are, put them in there now, forget about them, and then you'll know right when they switch to that spot. Thanks for tuning in on this week's episode, guys. We'll be back soon.